What's up guys, Hades here. I want to talk about my new build, okay? You've probably seen it in the thumbnail, but it's a very interesting build, and you've actually probably seen me flash this a little bit in some other previous videos if you watch my channel. So, I want to break down this build, I want to break down the variations, I want to break down why I think it's strong, and I'm going to show you some reports against some very strong players and how well it performs. Now, you need to take everything with a grain of salt. I would not rush to copy this. This is something I adapted to based on the meta, based on what was available to me, and all of the above. So, why did I build these immortals that make no sense? Why am I using Fire Dragon? Why do I not have any of this? I'm going to answer all that in this video. First and foremost, we need to start with specializations. Of course, I've talked about this before. But for me, I had accidentally saved over 1,000 Alex right when the update came out. I'm a big saver. I saved everything. So I already, off the rip, had him around level 4 or 5 for free, right? Then all I had to do was throw in a few gems into the market, and boom, he was like 6 or 7 right away, okay? Now, why Alex? Well, attack speed, damage. I already had the attack speed artifact. I never got the red one, so why not? But Alex runs deeper, and I'll explain why I run these skills on him in just a little bit. Second piece, Kin Emperor. He is absolutely the easiest character in the game to get, and I'll explain why in just a moment. I actually think most people should have him, and it's because of this right here. 8% drop rate. He is in the market every time you roll it. Like, not every time, obviously, but a lot of the time. So when you roll down the market, you're gonna find him a lot, and he just costs purples, which means he's free. And then he does a lot of things I want, right? First, he's a support. Second, his artifact is now free in Mysterium. Third, he can side assist. And the most important reason, back to specialization, he has this fantastic thing called battle excitation, which means he's making my carry, my secondary carry, start with 200 more energy and 40 more damage. So boom, here I have the core of my team because it's easy to obtain. Getting level 8 changes how strong you are up front, right? So now he's boosting Baldwin. So let's talk about Baldwin. Baldwin is not easy to obtain, super slow, very expensive gem-wise, and there's no way to rush him. But I already had a good amount of him on accident, and he was already built. So I was like, well, I don't want to build Himiko because I don't like going with what everyone's doing. I had already built Infinite Firepower to 5. I had already gotten Coercive for being 1,000 days active. And so I said, why not? So I pushed him. The artifact is basically free nowadays. If you didn't know, just playing the game, doing events, you should be getting these boxes, the selection boxes, all the time, right? I'm stacking these so that I can figure out who I want to do next. There's a ton of options. Khan, Charles, Baldwin. These are all things you could be stacking and more, right? And so his artifact wasn't hard to get. I already had quite a few of them. He fit well into my march. I needed a backline carry to use excitation. And then the final piece, YSS. Why YSS? Well, look here. In the shop, I can get him 10 times for 60 fragments. I get 600 a month for gems. These just cost gems, right? If you didn't know, you can click more XP and just do like this, and you get a bunch of coins. And then once you reach level 50, every level is 30. So essentially, 450 gems gives you 30 points. So getting him just costs some gems. So now you have the core. You have a support with a backline carry and a tank with a frontline carry. Okay? It's a well-balanced team. You can't really stack like armor because then you're going to get shredded by magic. You can't really stack any sort of magic. You're going to get shredded by Alex. Now for some of the skills. Okay, first and foremost, Fighting Master is one of the best skills in the game. It is essential to winning. Almost every player is running Himiko if you're not a Mega Whale. And if your Baldwin goes in the realm or your main carry goes in the realm, you just instantly lose. So you have to run this if you don't have Fu Fei. And the next two best damage skills are here. So his setup is relatively easy. Obviously, I want to side assist him to keep him more HP, and I want to have Heart of Arcana to give him more damage boost. Now, the rest of the build is very flexible, and I changed the rest of the build a lot. Energy suppression, weakening curse, fear of domination all get switched a lot. I never changed no escape. I like to be first, I like to hit hard, and I like to hit fast. So what I'll do a lot of the times, and I'll show you some of the variations here. So, Alex changes almost never, but when I'm facing a carry in the front, like Wukong, like Poseidon, like an enemy Alex, I switch to combo because I want the single target damage rather than the cleave damage. Then what I'll do is I'll switch to War Blessing because I want that upfront 25% damage right off the rip. Then it depends on what my opponent is. If they're spell based, I usually use energy suppression. And if I really need to wound them badly, I have secret tech for adrenaline rush, and I'll explain that a little bit later. And then this final one is a lot. Now, if they're a crit based team, I switch to Malice. If I want to go even harder and get my Baldwin to crit even harder, I can do weakness. I can switch into energy suppression in this slot. It can be fear of domination. It can be weakening curse if I'm against hybrids. This slot's very flexible, and I'll show you that in some of the reports. So, how well does my March do? Well, if you're unfamiliar with the current meta, this is what a meta March looks like. It's a holy team with Wukong, a holy team with Wukong, and a double support. Some of the players have upgraded into Apollo, and I'll talk about Apollo in a future video, but this is what the landscape looks like, right? Like this. So you have to be able to beat something like that. Now, we've only had the possibility of fighting this guy. Now, he has a very strong March, except he's not using Wukong. He's using Poseidon. And I'm going to show a few reports on this March. When you're fighting an opponent, you have to decide, what do I need to do to win? Well, if his damage carry dies, I have a chance to win, right? So how do I kill him? That's why Alex in my team. Now I'm going to show you some reports, because these are very, very valuable. Now, don't get it twisted. I do not do a ton of damage every time. This is what his March does, right? These aren't weak players. He's very strong. These are well developed. This is like 780, 790, mine's 730. I even lined up Alex with combo. Sometimes you just don't do enough damage, or they heal it all back. But sometimes you do a lot. And if he's damaged a bit, like here's Anubis got some damage taken, well, that gives me the opportunity to beat him. I'm aware he's low, but still, this is a very, very nice report. And sometimes it'll look something like this, right? Where you're going to get a lot of damage done, but you're not going to finish them. And the reason is they have so many bonuses, right? This is a level 4. These healers are healing so much extra damage. There's so much tankiness. It's really hard to kill the backline. It's just difficult, right? And then my Alex is getting reduced, etc., etc. It's very difficult. But I'm targeting the Poseidon with the combo. I'm looking to get that upfront damage. I don't want the Poseidon to go right away, and I get a pretty good replay. Now, the Fire Dragon, you'll see here why I throw the Fire Dragon in here. It's already a burst team, and this is the best burst dragon. 57, down 6%, and they're burn, and they're going to take some more burn. And this shows you how strong his team is. I have him dead to rights. You can see he's not even healing on a Poseidon. He's getting 0, 0, 0 over his head. And then there's a turning point. Remember, he has the skill that gives him 60% reduced damage taken. He's getting double heal focused. And then boom, he kills my support. And then he takes out my Alex. And I end up losing this match. But you can see how strong his team is and how he'll just wipe through enemies. If you do not have a serious team that's going to really pump out early damage, you will not win. because you're not going to have something that's stronger late, and you need to do early. So Fire Dragon helps, the Alex helps, the Baldwin helps, the boost help. Having an extra tank to like not instantly die one shot helps a lot. I change my marches all the time. I change my heroes and the skills constantly to adapt to battle. So don't just go and copy this. It's not going to just magically work, okay? There's a ton of variations I use. But I think there's a ton of information in this video to show you how I play and how I continuously perform against very, very strong players, even when my March is not that strong. You can see if I equip something like Fear, I'm only like 730, right? The top players are floating in the 900s, and the really strong players are in the 800s. So this is a huge skill gap. No matter where you are, let's just say you're a 700,000 player. If you fought someone 600k, you're gonna beat them like 9 times out of 10, or maybe 99 times out of 100, right? 100k difference is massive. But if you keep the fundamentals and you build a nice solid team and you build it the way you want it to be, it's gonna perform really well. But yeah, I hope you guys like these kind of videos, and I'll catch you in the next one.